Xin mời cả nhà chúng ta cùng quay trở lại với lớp học ha cả nhà.
I would like to invite
Chúng ta cùng quay trở lại với nội dung của
you all to get back to the main topic for today.
chúng ta thưởng thức vọng cổ, các anh chị thấy sao?
We have just listened to the traditional Vietnamese music. How did you feel? Good. Okay. I would like to say thank you and appreciate to the teachers. During the learning process, the teachers has devoted their time to write down the content for the song, to compose the song, and then our teachers has also devoted his time to to correct those song, and some of the song has been presented by some of the artists that you all know in our organization. You can go to YouTube, the âm nhạc chuyển hóa tâm thức in YouTube. The YouTube channel name âm nhạc chuyển hóa tâm thức, to listen to this music, and all of our song, all of the music, all of the piece of music in our organization has been produced, has been composed by the participants who study in our organization. And yesterday we already discussed about the four material manifestations of wisdom, that is simple, joyful, trusting, and light. And today we're going to discuss in detail one of these material manifestation, that is the trusting, or in other words, just our perception. Trusting, in other words, trust in our perception. Trust in our perception. Trusting. Trusting in our perception. So trusting is one of the material manifestations of wisdom. A person who trusts everyone, who trusts in the goodness of everyone around them, is the person who has wisdom. And only the person who has wisdom can trust their perception. And there's a saying related to trust in your perception. So there is a saying related to this sentence: when you trust in your perception, you will succeed. When you sometimes in life we feel unstable, unbalanced, so these sayings give us the encouragement, inspiration. Okay. Just trust in your perception, and trust in your perception, you will achieve what you want, and be perseverance. You will be succeed. Okay. As long as you trust, as long as you trust miracles will indeed happen, as long as you persevere, persevere. As long as you persevere, you will surely succeed. Okay. Chỉ cần bạn tin tưởng kỳ tích nhất sẽ xuất hiện. Chỉ cần bạn kiên trì nhất định sẽ thành công. As long as you have trust, miracles will indeed happen. As long as you trust in your perception, miracle will indeed happen. As long as you persevere, you will surely succeed. As long as you trust in your perception, miracles will indeed happen. As long as you persevere, you will surely success. So, the people in our normal society nowadays, people don't often trust in each other perception, and people don't really give each other such and trust. It's not simple for people in society nowadays to trust each other. So within for material manifestations of wisdom, we often tell each other that only when we simplify things, we will be joyful. Only when we trust, then it will be lightly. Okay. So in an organization, in a community, if there is a lack of trust, there will be a lot of checking, testings, monitoring process. And if people don't trust each other, then doesn't matter what is the monitoring process there are. People, this will make everything very tired, very problematic. So we in social media, when we interact with social media, you do you feel that when you're interacting on social media, you increase your trust in people or reduce your trust in people when you interact with social media, or if you observe when people interact on social media, that give people more trust in each other, or people have doubt even more. So if whatever we say that that makes us doubt each other, even doubting ourselves, okay, then those information, are they benefit to us or not? Okay. Because there's some information they actually giving a warning for us, but most of the information you receive nowadays is maximizing the darkness, and relating to negative information. So today we're going to share in detail this word trust in our perception, trusting our perception. And if we have the awareness about trust and trusting, then our life will be simpler. Our life will be more joyful. So hopefully when you receive this trust when you be able to trust in your perception, your life will become lighter, will become simpler, will become more joyful. Okay. So now we go into separate the word trust in perception. We're going to trust in our perception. I'm going to trusting. I'm going to write trust in our perception. So when we talk about our perception is that sometimes we perceive about what we have not yet experienced. Not yet experienced. Or in other words, we perceive about our future. We perceive our future in thọ tưởng hành thức. Thọ tưởng hành thức, reception, perception, action, and consciousness. So when we perceive about the past, when we perceive the past, okay, then we perceive about things we have already experienced. So, as a human being, we can perceive the futures. That means we perceive things we not yet experienced. When we perceive the past, we perceive about things that we already experienced. Okay. If we experience the future, we say that we are envisioning. If we perceive the past, we say that we are remembering. So we say here. So when we experience something not yet experienced, we call it envisioning. Envision. Okay, envision. And when we perceive the past, when we perceive things that we already experienced, we have two tendencies. That the first tendency is when we will our inner awareness, our inner state will lean toward negative direction. Our negative direction. Okay. About causality, when we talk about causality, when we negative and positive direction. Yeah. Our inner states. Inner negative inner state and positive inner state. So at this moment, if we perceive about something, perceive something in the past, okay, and perceive something in the past that we have inner state is negative, and we have negative inner state, then the outcome will result in this undesirable outcome. Okay. For example, we have a relationship in our life. Okay, relationship in our life. That particular person, we used to interact with them in a negative state. Then every time we perceive about that person, when we perceive that person, we will. If that continues, then in the future we will have the certain negative or undesirable outcome. So, for example, remember in all of our relationship, if someone have wronged us, have mistaken us, have done wrong to us, and up until now, if we think about that person, we still have the negative inner state, then be sure that we will receive the undesirable outcome And if we continue to maintain that negative inner state, we will continue to receive the the undesirable outcome. For example, if someone if someone do good for us, and we have when we remind about that situation with that person, in that particular situation with that person, our state, we have the positive state when we remind, when we perceive them in the past, okay, then currently we will reap the desirable outcome. And if we continue to have the positive state toward that person, then in the future we continue to receive the desirable outcome. And we know that when we set our intentions about things, that we already that we got intention in our perception, then it's decide what we already experience or what we not yet experience. So if you have a choice, which state, which inner state that you will hold toward what you have already experienced. If you have a choice, okay. But let's observe our life. Normally we remember the past, about the past. We remember the good things. Do we often remember the good thing that people done to us? Or we more likely to remember the bad things, the negative things that happen? Okay, I know that some of you have hold the appreciation, gratitude in your heart. So you be able to remember the best things that's already happened. Okay, the best thing that happened for the rest of your life, right? But some of you said that you remember it for the rest of your life. But if any one of you think about the situation, the circumstances in the past, and you have negative inner state, then be sure that you will receive the undesirable outcome today and in the future. So whenever we perceive the past, or in other words, we perceive something that we already experienced, then and if we perceive the good circumstances, the positive circumstances, then we tend to have the positive inner state. Okay, but whenever we remember things that happened in the past that give us a negative inner state. Okay, when we remind each other about the past, or we perceive the past, we perceive about what we already experienced. Okay, then we do not trust in our perception. Okay, we do not trust in our perception. Okay, can you so when we talk about the past, okay, we will not say that we don't believe it. Okay, we only perceive it. Okay, we know that we are using our perception when we remind things in the past. Okay, we know that we only perceive it. But if anything that we remember the past that give us a positive inner state, then let's trust that perception and trust in that in the present and in the futures, that positive things, that good things going to continue to happen to us. We trust that that person will continue to bring us a good relationship. But if anyone give us negative give us an undesirable, bring an undesirable circumstances to us, then at this moment, we only perceive about it, do not trust in our perception about us. Okay, so with that, so when we remind about, so if we keep doing that, then our inner state eventually will reach to the balanced state. And when we have the balanced state, when we perceive that a person, remember about that person, then the undesirable outcome will no longer happen. Will unlikely to continue to happen. Okay, so this part is very special. Very okay. If you just spend a bit of time to contemplate on this, if any situation that you have experienced, had already experienced, that give you the negative inner state whenever you remind yourself about it, then we simply use the word perception, or only perceive it. Do not trust in our perception about it. Okay, so at that moment, we only perceive, we only remember, it's only happened in our perception. Okay, and anything happened in the past that people bring the desirable, the positive circumstances to us. Okay, and we remember about it, we have the positive inner state, then continue to trust your perception. Okay, then while you perceive it, okay, do trust in your perception. So our future will change because of our inner states in the present. Okay, our inner present will change our future outcomes. Okay, I see that Mr. Xuân Hà, he is raising his hand in the Zoom. Mr. Xuân Hà is raising his hand in the Zoom. Okay, would you, Nguyễn Xuân Hà, Mr. Nguyễn Xuân Hà. Okay, are you willing to interact with me to give everyone the lessons here? Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna assume scenarios that you and me are used to study at university together. We used to be best friends when we at university, and the situation is that we in the same class and share the same room in our dorm, and one day you realize that you lost a big chunk of money that you received from your parents to pay for the tuition fee. Okay, and at that moment, okay, only you and me share the room, so no one else can come in. Not many people come into the room, and even though I already explained, but you determined that I've stole your money. And time passed, and you, of course, you didn't believe me back then. But time passed. Okay, doesn't matter how much I told you that I didn't steal your money. Okay, but because in your head you already had the image of me, how the image of me stole your money, then the relationship between me and you is not good, was not good. However, about a month ago, there's another friend who also studied with us at that time in the same class. That person came to you and told you that when he is university, he's owed someone big money, someone a lot of money, so he had to steal your money to pay for it, and he's totally sorry about that, and now he returned the money to you. Okay, he returned the money to you, and so at that moment, because you know that I didn't steal your money. Okay, so your inner state now thinking about me is no longer negative, but is balanced. So balanced and positive. So basically, your inner state changed that about me. So the relationship, our relationship also changes that moment, right? So, and most of us, because we're still holding the inner negative inner state about that person, negative inner state about that person, and that's why our relationship is undesirable. So when the outcomes still happens when undesirable still happen in the future, okay, then basically because you still have the negative inner state whenever you think about that person. Okay, so if the connection is disrupted, if we don't have a good connection with each other, then that means somewhere in our inner state we will have the negative. We will have negative direction toward that person. So when that has been stopped, when that negative inner state stop, and you had a balance inner state about us, then about me, then at that moment the relationships become better. At that moment, when you perceive the past, you will remember all the you could remember the good things. Okay, all the good things in the past start appearing in your mind. You'll be able to perceive all the good things in the past. Okay, and the relationship has improved from there, and our relationships will improve. So thank you very much, Mr. Nguyễn Xuân Hòa, interacting with me for everyone to understand this knowledge better. Okay, and are you joining Pre-Mentor 7 course right now? Yeah, great. Great. So a situation that an undesirable circumstances happen in the past, whoever relate to that situation, okay, the situation happened was undesirable. Okay, so if up until today we still have the undesirable connection with that person, doesn't have a good outcome with that person, then it's because somewhere within ourselves we have the negative inner state when we perceive about that person. Okay, so we do not trust in our perception. Okay, and if we trust, then trust all the good things that happen. By trust in all the good things that happen, trust in the good perception, then we will sow a certain seed, good seed for the good cause, for the positive or the desirable outcome to happen in the future. Okay, so now we already talk about perception. Okay, we're done talking about perception now. So if we perceive what we have not yet experienced, then when we when not yet experienced, then our inner state also have two directions. The first direction is to negative, and the second direction is positive. Please allow me to give you an example that relates to all of you here. So let's say in a nice day, in the past, of course, and the husband told his wife that he's going to, after work, he's going to go to the party of his college today. And by 10 o'clock in the evening, 11 o'clock in the evening, okay, the husband still haven't got home yet. Okay, the wife, in the meantime, the wife's perception is start going wide. There's a lot of things that we perceive, right? And what she perceived at that time is none of them are good. They all negative. Okay? But if we trust our perception at that time, right? If I trust our perception that time, there's a chance that we will feel uneasy, feel angry, we feel upset, right? And at the moment the husband arrives home, let's say 11:05, the wife, what? And then what we're gonna do? Okay, we already angry at him, we already feel uncomfortable, uneasy with him. So that is the negative inner state. Okay, and from that negative inner state, there will be the chance that undesirable outcomes happen. So if the husband got home and we didn't ask him, oh darling, why you got home so late? Okay, if we didn't ask him, didn't communicate with him, and keep holding the negative inner state, negative perception about our husband, then okay, and we continue to hold that, to trust our perception in the negative direction, then eventually it added up one day. Okay, then one day you saw your husband use the phone and chatting with someone secretly. Then that whatever you perceive at that time, if you continue to trust your perception, then eventually your relationship will go downhill, right? Because it's already negative. You already hold the negative inner state inside yourself. So there's a certain things that not happen in the present, but because we attach it to we trust our perception. Okay, we attach it to our perception and holding the negative image. Okay, of negative image that there might be a chance that the husband is unfaithful to her, to the wife, and she continued to trust in her perception. She consistently trusting her perception. Then she told herself, and she perceived that yes, because of my sixth sense, I already perceived that gonna happen. Okay, and if one day it's happened, okay, you don't know that you actually be the person who create that undesirable outcome. Okay, because whatever you perceive that acts as a seed, okay, a seed in your subconscious garden, and if that seed carry the negative state, the negative energy, then eventually if it's been fertilized, been taken care of, been nurtured, then eventually the trees that growth from that seed will be the undesirable outcomes that happen in our life. Okay. Let's say whatever you perceive, if it were true, if it were real, then we need to get back to the second with awareness, okay, and ask ourselves that where's the root cause originate from, okay, where the root cause originate from, and then if we realize that it's from us, then we had a chance to change it at the moment, okay, and in the present. For example, some people after get married, they hold an image of something that gonna happen in their marriage, okay, and because their total karma have that certain image in their head, certain bad negative image in the in marriage relationships, then eventually that mental image, when we have a clear mental image, we will achieve the outcomes, okay, the outcome will happen, okay. So every day, whatever you perceive in your mind, then the likely chance is that it's going to happen. There's a chance for it to happen. So if you say that, oh, you've perceived this, you have, before it's happened, you already perceive that this person going to do this, do that, then that's right, because that is the image you hold in your head, okay? Because of clear perception, clear mental image means clear mental image. So whatever you hold in your head, okay, and if you continue to nurture it, if it's a negative, then technically you have designed the undesirable outcome to happen in your life. So if you say that you perceive all the undesirable outcome that going to happen, and you feel that, oh, it's amazing, you can predict, you can envision, you can predict what's going to happen, and it will be the undesirable outcome, and you proud of yourself, then I'll be very surprised. But most people do that, okay. They said, oh, see, I already told you, okay. So there's a saying that prediction, a successful prediction is when it is not happen, and the unsuccessful prediction is when it's happened. So there's a saying like that. So why? Because whatever we perceive the future is have a chance to happen, but because a lot of people trust in that perception, lots of people trust that perception, okay, then there's a more chance for it to happen, okay. Let me repeat that. Whenever there's a prediction of foresees about something that going to happen, okay, and if it's a undesirable prediction, then and it didn't happen, then it's a successful prediction. But if that negative predictions happened, then it is an unsuccessful prediction. So whatever we predict, okay, is not yet happened. It's only what we perceive, okay. But if there's a lot of people trust in that perception, trust in that prediction, then there's a more likely chance for it to happen, okay. So if anyone told us about the something that is negative, okay, and that means that and we hold that image in our head, then the likely chance is that it will happen in the futures, and we not even aware that we are the person who nurtures that cause, nurture that seed to manifest into reality to manifest into reality in our life. Okay, so from now on, if anyone told you something that negative, okay, if we don't trust it, if you don't trust it, it's still not good. Whether you trust or not, do not trust in it, it's still bad. So what is negative? Negative is any situation that not yet happened, okay, and whether we trust or do not trust in that certain perception, it will create it will produce the outcomes. And if it is negative, then we will get the undesirable outcome. So whenever there is a negative in a state, or there's a negative image, negative prediction, then do not trust in those perceptions. Okay, and remember to say that, oh, I saw that you are doing good so far. I believe, I trust that you will become a person with a holistic wealth. Okay, so I'm very glad. Okay, if anyone told us that we will be able to achieve holistic wealth in the future, then trust in what they say, trust in their perception. So you understand it? Envision. So every day in our life, if someone comes and tell us something, someone comes to us and tell us about their envisioning, then we have a choice to trust that perception or not. Okay, and obviously we can't trust. So anything that we not yet believe in our perception, maybe just believing. So if we know that we trust in our perception, okay, neither we trust in our perception, then we already attach to that seed the negative or positive energy. So whenever there is a predictions, there's something that someone envision and telling us, then do and just perceive it. We realize that we only perceive it. Do not trust in our perception about it. Do not trust in their perception about it. Otherwise, we will feel worried, feel stressful. Then that means we continue to fertilize or nurture that seed in the negative direction, right? And for example, if we just sit here and talk to each other, and there's a certain image appear in our mind, we perceive certain thing, and is not good, then we only perceive it. But if it is something that positive, something that good, is have a chance to produce the desirable outcome, then we say that we trust our perception. Okay, so if someone came to us and tell us that we be able to, if someone told us something that going to happen to us in the future, right? And the likely chance that it's going to happen because it's already hold in our total karma. Okay, and we know that because it's in our total karma, then we can manage our inner state. The only thing we can do is to manage our inner state in order to change the outcome and be able to receive the desirable outcome. Okay, so remember, if someone told us something negative, then remember that is those negative things that they said already start in our total karma. Okay, why didn't they tell someone, but they told us about it? Because it's already in our total karma. But if it haven't happened yet, okay, if what they told us haven't happened yet, then we had a chance to manage our inner state and maintain is in the balance inner state, balance positive inner state. So whatever we envision, okay, whatever we envision, okay, there's a saying that whenever we perceive what we not yet experienced, okay, envisioned means what we trust, mean the belief in our perception with envisioned means the belief in our perception about what we not yet experienced with the positive inner state, with the inner state that is positive, then the internet just disrupted. Sorry. So if we maintain our inner state, okay, in balance to positive, okay, envisioned means what we believe in our means when we believe in our perception about something that we have not yet experienced with the positive, balance to positive inner state. Okay. So if we set our intention about something that we have not yet experienced, then we have the positive balance to positive inner state. Okay, then we have the inner peace, tolerance, appreciation, gratitude in our mind. Then what will happen? We will eventually reap the desirable outcome in our life. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so when we mention about something that we want to do in the future, and we have the balance to positive inner state, then there will be likely chance that it's going to happen. So there's a saying, envisioning means attainment. Envisioning means attainment. If you set a goal, there is a chance that it will not happen. Okay, but because when you set a goal, right? When we set a goal, and sometimes you set a goal, you think of that goal, you feel negative. Okay, you feel negative. You have the negative inner state. Okay, if you have negative inner state, there's no chance that it's going to happen. But if you envisioned, okay, you have the positive, the balance to positive inner state. Therefore, envisioning means attainment. Okay. So if you have been accompanied with organization for the last few years during the COVID time, we have heard the word with home. Okay, and it was an intention. It was an intention back then, but now it's become reality. We have with homes across Vietnam. Okay, so at the moment there's a building called with home. So it's still in our envision. Okay, sorry. We talk about with home. Okay, but with house already it's become reality already. But with home is still maintained in our perception. Is still what we perceive. Okay, it all starts from a perception. With home crowd all over the world, and mentor live all over the world, all over continents. Okay, have you heard that song? With home appear all over the world, and mentors live all over continents. Okay, that's a very beautiful song. Okay, and tomorrow we together accompany each other to apretell the philosophy of root or fundamental education. So from the very first few courses of mentor, when there was only a few hundred mentor, these songs has been composed. And at that time we didn't have any witch house, but already someone perceived that witch home will appear all over the world, and a mentor will live all over the continents. Will live in all continents. So whenever our teacher mentioned about this, in his heart he holds appreciation and gratitude towards all the mentors who live abroad, who live all over the world, and mentors who live in Vietnam as well. Okay, and he holds the image that one day soon, okay, with home appears all over the world, and mentor lives in all continents. So if we maintain to perceive, okay, if you maintain our trust in this perception, then okay, the likely chance that is going to happen. And yes, we see that intention now has become reality. Okay, so mentor lives in all continents. It is a reality now. There's more than 40 mentor living abroad right now, live in different countries abroad right now. Okay, and with house we had 3 of them right now. One in Trương Phúc Dung, Ho Chi Minh, one in Vĩnh Phúc, and one in Bắc Giang province. And all of this that I've told you, at the beginning it was a perception that set an intention to bring lots of value to million people, and now it's become reality. And in the future, if all of us here hold the positive inner state about with home about something, okay, then we're saying it's envision. We are envisioning. So envisioning means attachment. Okay, some people might say that, oh, don't be ridiculous. Don't be what we say. Don't think too much about something that not going to happen, right? But if we perceive something, that going to happen, that will happen, and is in the beautiful image, in the positive image, then yes, we have all the right to choose, all the right to envision. Okay, and let's say, for example, the light bulb that we have. At the beginning, before the LED light bulb has been produced, okay, at the beginning of time, Thomas Edison, when he invented the light bulb, it took him hundreds of tests, hundreds of failure tests, and some people said that it's 10,000 times in order for him to invented the light bulb. Okay. So before he invented the light bulb, it's all start with his perception, with his intention that he set an perception that he'll be able to create something that light up people's house. Okay, so if we maintain our perception about something that is beautiful, that is positive, and we have the positive balance to positive inner state about it, then do trust in our perception. Okay. But if we perceive something that is negative, then and just realize that we are perceiving, and that's it. Do not trust in our perception. Is that okay? Is that okay? So the participants said that just like all the architects or the constructor, before they build up the community, they build up the big building. Okay, they already perceive about it, and they have a very clear image of what they perceive. Right. So trust in the positive perception. Trust in the positive perception in order to achieve desirable outcome in the future. Okay. Right. Okay. It has slowed down. Okay. So we trust in our perception. It's good, right? If we trust in our perception that wisdom appears all over the world, and mentor lives in all continents. Let me turn on this song now for you to listen. Whenever I re-listen to the song that has been composed by all the teachers at the beginning of with time, all of them now I've see that most of them have eventually become realities in our life, in my life. Okay. Does anyone remember the name of the song? I couldn't. I don't remember the name of it. I couldn't remember the name of the song, so I can't search for it. Does anyone in here remember the name of the song? With have the verse, that with whom appears all over the world, mentor lives in all continents, and then together we hand in hand. Okay, we are hand in hand, accompany with each other to apprehend the philosophy of fundamental education. Okay, within our heart, with trong tim tôi, does it? So a participant suggests the name with trong trái tim tôi, within our heart, within my heart. Okay. All right, I found it. Let me turn on this music for you to hear. Okay, I found it.